The people of Minnesota are calling for accountability as it relates to what's happening with ICE on their streets. Elizer Darris is joining us. He is a local civic activist. And Eliza, thank you for joining us. You're calling for the investigative tools, the investigative mechanism to be taken out of the hands of the federal government, correct? And this is something that's new and novel, or is it?
Well, we've been called for that. What I'm calling for specifically is for our governor to remove the local authority with our county attorneys, and for the governor to then give the power over to the attorney general's office to singularly and in a centralized manner investigate and make charging decisions on the various assaults and even homicides that have happened at the hands of the federal government here in Minnesota due to the so-called Operation Metro Surge. So we're specifically calling for the governor to invoke his powers to authorize the attorney general to take over the investigations.
This is what you said. You posted this. Minnesota has a mechanism to ensure accountability when federal agents use force against our residents. It should be used. It is time. Minnesotans have been shot, beaten, and detained on their own streets by federal agents. Two of our community members were killed at point blank range in broad daylight. When the use of force crosses county lines, accountability cannot stop at the county line. The level of harm and violence we have experienced cannot continue to be investigated county by county with no coordination and no accountability. And then you say, under this is what you call this statute. Under Minnesota Statute 8.01, the governor can request in writing that the attorney general assume prosecution authority and exercise the full powers of a county attorney in these cases. That authority should be invoked across Hennepin, Ramsey, Anoka, Carver, and Dakota counties. The law provides a mechanism. The governor should use it. Accountability should not depend on which badge someone wears or which county the harm occurred in. So is that feasible, this statute 8.01, where that would be the attorney general would be Keith Ellison, where he would assume control of the investigation of all of these things as it relates to Minnesota?
Yeah, and many of these offices have already requested the Attorney General's office to assist in a secondary capacity. To me, it just doesn't seem practical. In many of these seismic, explosive, tragic situations that have occurred here in Minnesota, we have asked the Attorney General's office to take over the prosecution, including asking the Attorney General to take over the prosecution of the killers of George Floyd, of the killers of Dante Wright, and others. We have specifically asked that the local county attorneys' powers be removed and that those powers be shifted to the hands of the attorney general, who did bring charges in each of those cases and who did get historic convictions. In fact, the first ever convictions of anyone, any officer ever convicted of killing a black person in the state of Minnesota. On several occasions, the Attorney General's office have successfully prosecuted and gained convictions. So the office is equipped and adept and has a track record in grave matters like this of taking over local prosecutions and actually, gaining convictions. And so I'm specifically calling for that statute to be evoked this time around and for the attorney general to take over and to bring more of a centralized authority to the various investigations and potential prosecutions that are happening county by county. To me, that just doesn't seem to serve the community members of the state of Minnesota.
So what would that do then for the case of Renee, Nicole Good, or Alex Pretti, or anyone who has had their rights violated by ICE or Homeland Security agents in Minnesota?
So the full power of the Attorney General's office will take lead and will be able to investigate and, in a singular matter, make a charging decision for the death of Renee Good, for the death of Alec Freddie, and for the assault and multiple shots. We're talking about even officer involved or agent involved shootings in North Minneapolis, in which the agents have now been proven to have lied and falsified statements, even in the shooting in which they shot a North Minneapolis resident in the backside. Even in cases like that, cases of assault and others, the Attorney General's office would be able to, in a singular, centralized fashion, apply the letter of the law in the state of Minnesota to each of these cases, whereas the rights of our residents have been violated, versus the diffracted energy that would be necessary, particularly from the advocacy community, going from county to county to county, trying to push and prod each of these various county attorneys to make the right decision. We would be able to singularly look to the Attorney General's office as having point and taking lead for the investigations and the
Okay.
prosecutions.
I get you, but on a national level, people are frustrated because there has not been an investigation of any sort into the deaths of these people, and it doesn't seem to be any appetite for investigations beyond that, even for lesser crimes. And so, what is there an appetite from the governor to do this? Can they somehow usurp the federal government and conduct these investigations and get prosecutions possibly with this 8.01? What is it? Is it what statute that
Yep,
you're
Minnesota statute
referencing here? Yeah.
8.01. Yep. So from my perspective, what this does is it streamlines the process for us. It allows for us to have a singular point of contact, a singular point of accountability.
No, I understand that. I understand that. But what does it do for the deaths of these two people? Is there, because the federal government is withholding all of the information for Renee Nicole Good, for Alex Pretti, and for some of the other cases, not allowing the local folks to investigate. Does this change that in any way?
Yeah, so again, I mean, this is going to be a singular person who's now going to make a charging decision. What that means is if that charging decision is then made, yes, we are likely going to find ourselves inside a federal court. And at that point, the Attorney General's office, the Solicitor General's offices anyway would then step up and would begin arguing that the state of Minnesota has the right to bring these charges, and that this would
There it is.
penetrate the veil that the federal government right now believes that it has through the supremacy clause that they believe allows their agents to act irrespective of our state laws. I believe that there is a need at this point to reimagine our jurisprudence and to create new case law and to challenge the practicality and the legality of how the supremacy clause has been interpreted over the past few decades. And I think that these cases are the perfect cases to begin pushing and prodding at. But none of that can happen without a charging decision.
Is there an appetite from the governor? Because you said the governor would have to sign off on this, right? Have you approached the governor? Has he responded? Is there an appetite there for any of this to happen?
So at the point in which the governor then puts it into the Attorney General's hands, who is also a duly elected governmental official, the governor is out of it and is in the hands of the Attorney General to make that decision. So whether the governor has an appetite or not, the only thing I need, or the only thing we need for this governor to do, is to have enough of an appetite to say, we need to have more of a centralized command over the investigations and over the potential prosecution. That's it.
Whose choice is it ultimately to have this rule 801 put into place?
It's 100% the governor's.
And have you spoken to him? Is he willing to do it?
Yeah. So I just called for it this morning. I just put the statement out this morning. I'm going to do a media release as well. This is one of the first interviews that I'm doing about this. And I did not come to a decision like this lightly at all. Many of these county attorneys I have a great relationship with. Many I have worked on their campaigns to get them elected. However, through great deliberation, to me, all roads leads to here. And so this is the first points of public pressure that I'm beginning to bring as an activist, as an advocate, to say this is what needs to happen. This is what our state demands. And this is what justice demands. We need the governor to step up, and we need the governor to remove local jurisdiction and place it into the hands of the attorney general.
And what about the attorney general?
I have confidence that the attorney general's office, because it has already taken on seismic cases. I mean, when you think about the murder of George Floyd, that created an international rupture. Uh, the Attorney General's office took that case, brought additional charges, charged additional officers, and got convictions in each of those. And that has played itself out again and again and again. I have very little doubt that the Attorney General's office and the professionals within that office will take each of these cases under advisement and will make the right decisions. They won't shirk responsibility.
Elizer Darris, keep us updated, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, thank you so much. Thank you for your work.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.